Look how smooth that was. I am getting the hang of the countdown timer. That was Bird Eats Baby with tenterhooks. I'm playing that because I discovered that one of my photos is the single cover for that, I think, online only single release. So there you go. Imagine that. I'm just like a real photographer now. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock. It's Tuesday. Lockdown continues. So it's the Quizcazoatl Tuesday evening publess pub quiz. For anyone tuning in for the first time, it is very simple. You get yourself a team together, either in an isolation compliant way at home or across the magic of some sort of telecommunication device or fast moving pigeon. With your team, you answer the questions, you submit your answers. If you want to compete anyway, you are welcome to just play along for fun, but we like to make it a little competitive here. Submit your answers using the answer form at bit.ly/quizcazoatl_answers. You also need to download the picture round. We will flash the pictures up as we go through, but it will be much easier for you if you have them. They can be downloaded from Quizcazoatl on bit.ly/quizcazoatl_pictures. I have also posted the pictures to the Facebook event. The picture round has 14, or the picture sheet has 14 questions on. We're going to ask you for answers for 7 of those in round 1 and the next 7 in round 2. But if you haven't played before, be warned, it can get a little bit busy by the end of the quiz, so it is always worth looking ahead on your picture sheets. If you are the designated answerer, or even if you're not, if you would be willing to volunteer to do some marking for us later, we swap everyone's sheets around. Please do get your email address entered on the form. And finally, don't cheat. Don't look at the answers on Google. That wouldn't be a quiz, would it? Goodness me, that wouldn't be the thing to do at all. Did you see how angry my eyebrows got there? That would be dreadful. So, in a little bit, we are going to have a t-shirt question for last week's winners. Those of you who are new may not be aware that we do offer a chance to win the limited edition, not available in the shops, Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt. Even more limited edition than intended because of lockdown limitations. Only one of the 4 t-shirts that have been won so far has actually reached its owner, and that was the wrong size. So, nailed it. Anyway, without further ado, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention at the start. As those of you who have listened before will know, I have been inviting anyone who enjoys the quiz and would like to give something back as a little gesture of thanks, terribly decent of you, to make a donation to the Lewisham Food Bank. The link I had provided previously didn't work for reasons which remain mysterious to me, so I have set up a proper Just Giving page. www.justgiving.com/Quizcazoatl. That link is also available on the YouTube channel landing page. We have a fundraising target of £100 million, which, the way lockdown is going, I think that we can reach. So do feel free, if you would like to make a contribution, but do not feel forced. This is a quiz for fun. The charitable bit is just on the side. Anyway, that is quite enough from me before we get on to our first question. So question 1, hopefully this won't be too difficult for you. We are asking, in which country were fireworks invented? It's sort of edging towards the 4th of July, when largely no one in this country uses fireworks, but apparently there is an uptick in firework purchases in the States, and we are asking, in which country were they invented? Okay, hopefully that one didn't tax you too much to get started, so let's move straight to question 2. And question 2, we're asking, in a race, you've just overtaken the person who was in second place. What position are you now in? You're in a race, you've just overtaken the person who was in second place. What position are you now in? Is that a riddle? Does it even warrant the term? Okay, that brain teaser is gone now. And we are, oh my lord, why is the picture round so small this week? We are on to the picture round, which is mysteriously smaller than it should be. Isn't that better? There we go. So we are asking for the names of these people. They'll have a 3-part name. We are looking for it in full. 6 people. That means 6 points in the Quizcazoatl publess pub quiz. We always give a point for every answer, probably with some sort of exceptions, but that's basically the rule. If there are 6 people's names, you will get 6 points. So get those thinking hats on. Okay, if you haven't got them all just yet, do keep coming back. Remember, you need to get all your round 1 answers in, more or less the end of round 1. After round 1, we go to the music round, which means you'll have to click through on your Google form, or else you won't be marked. Then we go to round 2, and finally we end with a wipeout round. Do pick yourself a quiz team name if you don't have one already, and please try to use the same name in every round of the quiz, or else it is difficult to know how many points your team has scored in total, isn't it? Anyway, back to the questions, and we are going to question 4. So for question 4, we are asking, who sang the theme tune to the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies? It doesn't say James Bond, does it? But I'm guessing that's a James Bond, not any of those other Bonds whose cinematic history we are so fond of. If at any point during the quiz you need something repeated, feel free to post a comment in the YouTube comment section. You can also rewind the video on YouTube and have a second look. Just don't forget to catch up, or you will be out of sync with everyone else and you might end up not getting your answers in on time. Also, please feel free to comment if I disappear or go offline or any of the other little technical malfeasances that could occur. So we'll keep pushing on to question 5, and we are asking Fiordland National Park is in which country? For any of you not watching the YouTube, that's Fiordland, Fiordland. It's not a J, it's an I in Fiordland. Fiordland National Park is in which country? Okay, question 6 takes us back to the pictures. And picture 2 is the Venn diagrams. It's a perennial favourite here. Set theory meets trivials. So you have 2 groups of things and one entry could overlap the 2. Can you work out what they are? We have an example there. On the top we have Neptune, Jupiter and Saturn. They are planets. Could also be gods, if you were that way minded. Same thing. On the bottom we have Twix, Snickers and Bounty. The intersection for that one would have been Mars. But can you find the intersection for the other 3? Okay, pushing on to question 7, we have a little bit of chemistry for you. I know that everyone loves the chemistry questions. We're asking which chemical element, its atomic number 20, is found in bones, teeth and shells. Which chemical element with atomic number 20 is found in bones, teeth and shells? Let's also push on to question 8. After that, we are going to set the lockdown haircuts. Last week's winners, who I am reliably informed are wearing crowns on their video chat today because they want to take every moment of that sweet victory and squeeze the happiness out of it. Anyway, when you win the Quizcazoatl pub quiz, you win the glory, you win the right to wear crowns on your video chat. But you also win a chance to get a Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt for either one or all of the team, depending on how close together you like to stand. I'll give you a clue. It's hard to be 2 meters apart while wearing the same t-shirt. Anyway, after question 8, I am going to give them their t-shirt themed t-shirt question. But first, we're asking you to name the 3 US states whose common names in English begin with 2 consonants, i.e. not A-E, I-O or U. That is potentially more confusing with the I-E than it might have been, but you get the idea. Not A-E, I-O or U. Okay, so here we go. There is proof if anyone needed that I haven't resized that picture before we started, but you get the idea. There is a real Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt out in the world now. That's pretty exciting. That looks better, doesn't it, without the yellow box? So, lockdown haircuts. This week's t-shirt question. At the Maritime Museum at Greenwich, just round the corner from the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz Temple and from the Lewisham Food Bank, of course, they have the jacket that Nelson was wearing when he was shot at the Battle of Trafalgar. It is notable for having a bullet hole and some blood on it, probably from his secretary. Now, that's not the question. The question is, the Maritime Museum also has one of Nelson's old undershirts. Can you tell me what is unusual about that undershirt? We're going to give you about 30 seconds to answer that. So thinking caps on. Well, as every week, the lags inherent in this broadcasting system are such that we have not quite got an answer by the end of the countdown. And because I'm generous, I'm going to give them a few more seconds to come through. While we're doing that, let's go to question 9, which is picture 3. And we have 6, is that 6? 7? Goodness me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Clues. All of these start with an R-A-N. Can you fill in the N's? And While you're filling in those, we have an answer from the Lockdown Haircuts. Hopefully. They said, so at this point that I realise I don't actually know who the full team compliments are. So Lockdown Haircuts, if this wasn't you, let me know. They have said it is unusual for being pink. It's not a bad shout. It harks back to a currently unfashionable age when half of the world was pink on the maps because the British used to get out and about and cause a lot of trouble. However, that was not the answer that I was looking for, I'm afraid. The answer is it is unusual because one of the sleeves has been sewn up because he didn't have enough arms. So, Lockdown Haircuts, you get to wear your crowns, but if you want a Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt, you are going to have to either focus on the spot prizes or just win again this week. Anyway, I'll let you guys discuss those rounds, and I will be back with question 10 in a minute. Okay, on to question 10. We are asking, from the Old French for pillion rider, if any of you are old and French, that could be a useful clue. What's another term for the dealer at a gambling table in a casino? Remember, the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz is not sponsored by gambling firms, but if you do run a gambling firm and would like to sponsor us, I'm open to it. If you guys don't know better than to give your money away, honestly, your problem. We have also had a request for a repeat on question 8, so we'll give you that. We were asking you to name 3 states in America whose common names begin with 2 consonants. That is not A, E, I, O, or U. 3 US states whose names begin with 3 consonants for 3 points. And let us push on to question 11 as well. We are asking about the footballs. Footballs are back. It's pretty exciting for everyone. We're asking, in the 2019-20 season, what is the only Somerset-based club in the top 5 leagues of English men's football? Somerset, a county not known for its football, more scrumping, I would say, but they do have a football club somewhere up in the wayward echelons of the top 5 divisions. But what is that club? Okay, on to question 12, and we're back to the pictures. Picture 4, we're asking you, can you name these 6 films, all of which have a boy's name in? So these 6 films, or maybe franchises. We also have news that the lockdown haircuts didn't notice that we were doing the t-shirt question. They did eventually come through with the guess pink. It wasn't pink, it only had one arm. I think that next week we may go back to getting people on screen. Then at least we know they've heard. Okay, the lockdown haircuts missed out on a t-shirt just there in 3 ways. They missed the message I sent with the question, they apparently missed me reading the question, and then they got the question wrong. So that's an example of not getting a t-shirt. But if you would like one, limited edition, they are very fancy. You can see they're an actual, real, physical t-shirt. You can also see that there. All designed by the lovely Jane, who plays on the Sounds a Bit Hippie to Me team. Thank you very much, Jane. If you need any design work, her rates are super reasonable. Anyway, one way to get one is to get a spot prize. If you get one of the 2 spot prize questions right, you can enter these as an individual. Send your answer to me directly, either via the messaging service on Facebook or quizcazoatl@gmail.com, or on WhatsApp or something if you think you know who I am and my phone number. So this week's question is... oh, it's not an extra point, it's a chance at a t-shirt. I should have changed that. Anyway, closest answer wins a chance at a t-shirt. We're asking, according to the official Tour de France website, how many miles in total was the 2019 race? In the Tour de France, people ride bicycles all over the place, really. I think sometimes they even make it out of France. But how long in total, in miles, was the 2019 race? Get your individual answers into me. You can send several from the same team, if you're that way minded. I will come back to this around about question 16, 17, see who was closest, and let you know who the winner is. If you get 2 spot prizes on the same quiz, you get a t-shirt. That's that. We've had Tim S and other Tim S done it that way in the last 2 weeks. Otherwise, we will have a head-to-head t-shirt question showdown for the 2 winners later. And I was muted for a moment there, so you've got the question before I've read it out. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, for question 13, we're asking who was the only US president to be sworn in on an aeroplane? Pretty sure it wasn't George Washington, but do you know who it was? And pushing along to the pictures again, we're up to picture 5. Now, some of you, if you're very old, may remember a time before swipey text, when you had to type numbers to type letters. Can you imagine that? Crazy. Anyway, if you remember how predictive text works, or you're bright enough to work it out in live real time, or you've just done it before, you have a chance to decode these. And we are looking for 2 colours spelt in predictive text. 2 colours, 2 points. Okay, powering on through, and we are coming to question 15 now. We're asking, what nationality was Joseph Pilates? Descendant of Pontius Pilates, of course. He was the founder of the eponymous physical fitness system. But what was the nationality of Joseph Pilates? Okay, and question 16, we're asking who wrote the 1886 novel The Mayor of Casterbridge? Who wrote the 1886 novel The Mayor of Casterbridge? Okay, I am just looking in on those spot prize answers. If you hurry, you might get one in just in time. While I'm doing that, let's go to question 17, and that is back to the pictures. And picture 6, we're asking you to identify some brand logos. Now the shops are open, we can focus again on buying stuff. And when we buy stuff, we like it with a symbol. Can you identify these 5 symbols? Okay, it looks like I have the spot prize answers in. I can tell you, Fiona, it is quite a bit further than 350 miles. Alon, you said 2,198 miles. It's actually 2,091, so you were only 107 over. Unfortunately, Auntie Anne said 2,000 miles, so she's only 91 below. So, spot prize 1, Auntie Anne is the winner. Well done, Auntie Anne. We'll be on with a second spot prize question in the second half. Auntie Anne, you have won a chance at a Quizcazoatl's Publess Pub Quiz, not available in the shops, limited edition t-shirt. While you are celebrating that, let's fly on through to question 18. And we're asking, in 871, Alfred the Great became king of which medieval kingdom? He is the only great in at least one notable country's history, but of which medieval kingdom did he become king in 871? Okay, we are closing in on the end of round one now. So if you have any questions yet to answer, it's time to think about making a decision. Question 19 is our last picture of the half. We have 3 people born in the same year. Can you give the 3 names and tell me what the year was in which they were born? Because we are generous to a fault, we are going to give you plus or minus 2 years in either direction on that. Okay, time for the last question of the round. If you would like anything repeated, do post on the comment thread or just rewind the tape as I say. So we are going to question 20. Now, what hereditary genetic disorder, which gets its name from the Greek for blood love, those crazy Greeks, dirty boys, impairs the body's ability to make blood clots? What hereditary genetic disorder, which gets its name from the Greek for blood love, impairs the body's ability to make blood clots? Okay, so I'm going to give you another minute to just discuss those round one questions, then submit your forms. You can click through when you submit to get your music round form. Do please use the same team name, or else it makes it much harder to work out who scored what. I know that last week we were going so smoothly that some people had trouble finding time to refill their beer or take a bathroom break and such. So I'm going to give you about a minute to finish round one. Then I am going to put a timer on the board to give you a 5-minute tea/beer/whatever break, and then we will be straight back and into the music round. Okay, time to finalise and submit those round one answers. And here is your 5-minute break. Okay, we're back in a minute. If you haven't submitted, even though I told you to, now is really the time to submit, because we are coming straight back to the music round when that counter stops. Okay, so hopefully that has given you time to do whatever it is that you like to do at that point. Now we're going to the Quizcazoatl music round. In the music round, we cavort across the decades, dancing our little dance. And we ask you to tell us the name and performing artist for 6 songs. One from the 60s, one from the 70s, one from the 80s, one from the 90s, one from the noughties, and one from the tenties. Nothing from this year, and correctly so. It's been a bizarre year, and musically has not registered for me yet. Anyway, without further ado, so that's 2 points, I should say, per song. One for the artist, one for the song. Without further ado, here you go. I'm going to play them once. Then I'll give you a moment to discuss. Then I will play them again. While I'm doing that, I will also be emailing out marking links to everyone who is kind enough to offer to mark. So once you've got your answers down, check out your marking links. We will mark round 1 after we've played this a couple of times. I did know that that was last week's, because we actually had to crop My Girl from the version available on YouTube because of a copyright claim. Can you imagine that? If you were playing along at home, you would not have been able to do that. My apologies. I was quite sure I'd updated all of those, but yet we did it wrong. Can you imagine that? Bad Chris. Let us try that one more time.
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That's where you're at. Going down a bumpy hillside in your hippie hat, flying across the country and getting fat, saying everything is groovy when your tires are flat.
All I needed was a friend to lend a guiding hand, but you turned into a lover and mother. What a lover, you wore me out. All you did was wreck my bed, and in the morning kick me in the head. Ooh,
Baby, I'm hot just like an oven. I need some loving. And baby, I can't hold it much longer. It's getting stronger and stronger. She dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Yeah.
I love you, but I've gotta stay true. My morals got me on my knees. I'm begging, please stop playing games. I don't know what this is, but you got me good, just like you knew you would.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't afford a Ferrari, but that don't mean I can't get you there. I guess she's an Xbox, and I'm more Atari. But the way you play your game ain't fair. I picture the fool that falls in love with you. Oops, she's a gold. Well, just don't you know. Ooh, I've got some news for you. Yeah, go on and run tell your little boy.
Okay, discuss those for 30 seconds. Then I'll play them again. Okay then, the links to the marking sheets have just gone out, so if you are marking, please check that. Before then, let's have the music round one more time.
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That's where you're at. Going down a bumpy hillside in your hippie hat, flying across the country and getting fat, saying everything is groovy when your tires are flat.
All I needed was a friend to lend a guiding hand. But you turned into a lover and mother. What a lover, you wore me out. All you did was wreck my bed, and in the morning kick me in the head.
Ooh, baby, I'm hot just like an oven. I need some loving. And baby, I can't hold it much longer. It's getting stronger and stronger. She dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Yeah.
game and care. I picture the fool that falls in love with you. Oops, she's a gold digger. Well, just don't you know? Ooh, I've got some news for you. Yeah, go on and run tell your little boy.
Okay, 6 songs there. Frankly, they were middling. We've had better, we've had worse. Get your answers down for that. In 30 seconds or so, I am going to come back and go over the answers to round 1. Okay, hopefully you have now got those answers sorted. I'm going to go over the round 1 answers. You can, if you have different people filling in the answers and marking, then someone could take a couple of minutes just to keep on pondering those musics. If it's the same person, my recommendation is time to hit submit, move through to the round 2 form, and let's do the marking. We've got to focus. Anyway, so round 1 answers. Question 1. We asked you, in which country fireworks were invented? The answer to that was China. By the way, it looked to me like the answer sheets are working this week, but if anyone has a problem, do tell me now. Question 2. We asked, you're in a race. You've just overtaken the person who was in second place. What position are you now in? It's second place. First place is miles ahead. You're not going to overtake first place. You're fat and slow. But silver medal is actually, it's good. So let's not overstate it. But you're in second. Question 2, 1 point, second place. Question 3. We are asking you to give 6 three-part names of the people in picture 1. First off, we had Sex and the City star Sarah Jessica Parker. We then had civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. I guess we said 3-part names, so we won't hold you to account if you didn't put the junior in. We know who you mean. Third off, the Welsh wonder, was she Welsh? Comes from somewhere. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Then we had Daniel Day-Lewis. Then we had tennis player, am I right in saying? Billie Jean King. Also Billie Jean Moffat would have been acceptable. Billie Jean King or Moffat. And finally, quoth the quizmaster, Edgar Allan Poe. The man with the raven, Edgar Allan Poe. So 6 points for Sarah Jessica Parker, Martin Luther King, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Daniel Day-Lewis, Billie Jean King or Moffat, 1 point for either, and Edgar Allan Poe. Who sang the theme tune to the song Tomorrow Never Dies? Sheryl Crow. Can you hum it? Me neither. Not one of the more memorable ones. Fiordland National Park. It's not in Norway. The Norwegian Blue was not pining for it. It is in New Zealand. 1 point for New Zealand for Fiordland National Park. Our missing items from the Venn diagrams for question 6 were Jiffy, apparently padded envelope brands. Who knew that there were many padded envelope brands? So it goes. Also terms for a short time was the other half of that one. The second Venn diagram, we had medallion. That was pork cuts meets jewellery that goes around the neck. And finally, spinal tap for comedy bands meets medical procedures. So 3 points for Jiffy, medallion, and spinal tap. Question 7, we were after a chemical element, atomic number 20, found in bones, teeth, and shells. That is calcium. When I was little, we used to be told to drink milk to get calcium, although I think latterly there is less consensus whether milk really helps. But either way, calcium is the answer. Question 8, we were looking for 3 US states whose common names begin with 2 consonants. Only 3. It was Florida with an FL, Rhode Island, that's an RH, a little bit tricksy that one, and Wyoming. This is as good a point as any to be reminded to just say to all the markers, of course, the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz is a trivia quiz. It's not a spelling quiz, so do be a little bit generous with the spellings. Even if someone has managed to spell Wyoming with a YI, at least someone in that team knew what they were trying to say, so do give them the point if it is in any sense discernible. Question 9 takes us to picture 3. We were looking for 6 things starting with an RAN. First we had Rangers Football Club, then Random Access Memories, as in RAM, Random Access Memories though. We're looking for an RAN, so that has to be written out. We had Rango, the Western Lizard. We had Ranulph Fiennes. We had Rand. I guess, is that a South African Rand? Not to be confused with game theory pioneers, the Rand Corporation. And finally, Random House, the house where you go in and anything could happen. What an exciting concept. It was a precursor to the celebrated 90s kids TV show Funhouse, I believe. Anyway, 6 points available for Rangers, Random Access Memories, Rango, Ranulph Fiennes, Rand, and Random House. Question 10, from the Old French for pillion rider, what's another term for the dealer at a gambling table in a casino? It's the croupier or croupier, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Croupier for a point. What is the only Somerset-based club, we asked for question 11, in the top 5 leagues of English men's football? It is Yeovil Town. Yeovil, they are headed to the Premier League. Mark my words, Yeovil Town. For question 12, we had 6 films, all of them with a boy's name in. They were Magic Mike, When Harry Met Sally, Bruce Almighty, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Jerry Maguire, and Lawrence of Arabia. 6 points available for Magic Mike, When Harry Met Sally, Bruce Almighty, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Jerry Maguire, and Lawrence of Arabia. Question 13, who was the only US president to be sworn in on an aeroplane? That was Lyndon B. Johnson, as a result of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. What you might not realise is he was actually flying in economy class at the time. Can you imagine that? How exciting that was for the guy sitting next to him. Question 14, picture 5 and the predictive text. We were looking for colours and we had crimson and aquamarine. Crimson and aquamarine. Question 15, we asked the nationality of Joseph Pilates. He was a German. Joseph Pilates was German. Question 16, who wrote the 1886 novel The Mayor of Casterbridge? I think he's come up a few weeks ago as well. Somebody writing these questions likes a grim 19th century novel. It's Thomas Hardy. Question 17, this is another big one, 5 points available for the brands. Our logos were Google Stadia, we're looking for Stadia, personally, never heard of it. Renault, Hello Kitty, Bass, as in BASS, the brewery. And finally, Haagen-Dazs, purveyors of slightly expensive ice cream to the rich and famous. In 871, Alfred the Great, who I guess sort of ended up as King of England, didn't he? Is that true? Certainly he was successful. That's the main thing. But in 871, he became king of the medieval kingdom of Wessex. Medieval kingdom of Wessex for 1 point. For question 19, we had the people and the year. We had Jack Bauer himself. Of course not. It's Kiefer Sutherland. Then Salma Hayek. And finally, Teddy Sheringham. Looking relatively dashing by Teddy Sheringham standards in that photo. And they were all born in 1966. We'll give you anything in the range from 64 to 68 for the point. 4 available there for Kiefer Sutherland, Selma Hayek, Teddy Sheringham, and 1966. And finally, for round 1, we asked what hereditary genetic disorder, with its name from the Greek for bloodlove, impairs the body's ability to make blood clots. That was haemophilia. So, I know that one answer sheet appears not to have come through. Probably, I will sort that out in a minute. Hopefully everyone else has been able to do their marking. And we can move on directly to round 2. So now you really, really have to give in those music round questions if you haven't done it yet. Because here comes, it's your friend and mine, it's what we've all been waiting for. It's an anagram! Today's word, pseudometric. We're just looking for another 12-letter word. So the anagram is pseudometric. That's P-S-E-U. Brexit means Brexit, mate. But that doesn't apply here because it's just letters. So P-S-E-U-D-O-M-E-T-R-I-C. Can you work out the anagram? Okay, the mystery of the missing answer sheet has been solved. That person hadn't given their email address in. That's why no answer sheet was forthcoming. Having solved one mystery, let's go on to the mystery of question 2. We're asking, by weight, what is the most expensive spice in the world? Is it baby? Is it ginger? I don't think it's sporty. Could be scary. Maybe it's posh. But by weight, what is the most expensive spice in the world? We'll move along and we are into the pictures for round 2 as well. Going on to picture 8, we have the initials of some films from the 2000s. Can you work out the names of those films only from their initials and the year they were released in? Okay, and question 4 of round 2 is going to be a little bit of a human geography. And we're asking, after China and India, which of the world's countries has the highest population? It's not literally the highest population. It's not going to be Bhutan. That would be silly. So which country has the most people living in after India and China? Okay, let's keep pushing along, and we are up to question 5. We're asking, what animal is used as the symbol on a brown road sign in the UK for a zoo? Which animal would you see on a brown road sign if you were on your way to the zoo? And you know what? Soon you might be able to. It's museums and probably zoos and all manner of things are becoming available again. When too many things open, the quiz will stop. What animal is the symbol on a brown road sign for a zoo? While you think about that, I will give you a lightning fast scores update. It is pretty close for most of the teams after round 1. We have the Wuhans on 27, a little behind the pack, but then the Footlins sounds a bit hippie to me. Meet the Parents, Midway Kings, Panic at the Tesco, and Lincoln is not in the East Midlands! Which was written with too many capitals and exclamation points to be truly calm. All of those guys are within a couple of points, between 40 and 42. And then just sneaking ahead, it is perennial challengers, the World Health Organization and the lockdown haircuts. But everything to play for. In a couple of questions, we'll do the answers to the music round as well. Before that, we are going to go on to the pictures again. And picture 9, where am I, is asking us, can you identify the covers of 4 books which are not from the UK? Did you know that people who aren't British are allowed to write books as well? I didn't, but can you name these books from the covers? Don't judge them, that would be wrong, but you're allowed to name them. Okay, let's do question 7 and then we can mark the music round. So question 7, we're asking which 2 British rivers sound like consecutive letters of the alphabet? Normally we give you a point for everything, but on this we're being inexplicably harsh, so there's only 1 mark for getting both of those correct. Which 2 British rivers sound like consecutive letters of the alphabet? Okay, markers, if you can return to your marking sheets, we are going to quickly go over the music round answers. So we've got 6 songs. I've let my team down here. They don't often come asking me for my assistance, but they said to me, "Who's Hi Ho Silver Lining by?" And they had the song right, but it is most assuredly not Glenn Campbell. I have been getting Hi Ho Silver Lining mixed up with a Rhinestone Cowboy there. So that's a shame. The correct answer, Jeff Beck. Hi Ho Silver Lining and Jeff Beck, 2 points available. From the 70s, we have a touching tale of a teacher who oversteps the boundaries of polite society, even by 70s standards. It's Maggie May by Rod Stewart. Maggie May by Rod Stewart for 2 points. Probably as a result of some sort of a teacher-related incident, Marvin Gaye was singing in the 1980s about sexual healing. So Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, another 2 points available. Into the 90s, and we were hearing about Mr. Jones. That wasn't Nickelback, that was the Counting Crows. Sort of a middle-of-the-road sort of a song. So it goes, Mr. Jones by the Counting Crows for 2 points. In the 2000s, we had Duffy begging us for... I've let myself down. The answers haven't come through and I'm reading them out. My apologies, everyone. I just need to take a moment to correct that. I'm a monster. Oh, I tell you what, though, to make up for it, I'm going to let you listen to the mystery voices. And that'll cheer you up, won't it? Here come the mystery voices, then I will activate the answers and we'll be back to it.
Number 1.
You know what families are going through now. I once had to go through that same system, and it's very difficult to find a way out. Now that I'm in this position that I'm in, it's very important for me to help the people that are struggling, and that was the main reason why the letter was written.
Number 2.
Pasta puttanesca, that Italian stalwart, is generally translated, on English menus anyway, as pasta cooked in the whorish fashion. Now, I'm sorry to be immodest, but I prefer my translation, slut spaghetti.
Number 3.
I think in terms of action, this is probably the largest practical action film ever shot. Like when you look at the films, there's no CGI, so we're going through Paris, the motorcycle, it's just full on cars, you know, we're all doing our own stunts.
Okay, I didn't really explain that, did I? Because there was a little bit of a moment I was having, but that was 3 voices. Listen to what they say. Listen to how they sound, see if you can work out who they are. I'm going to give you those music round answers again because hopefully the sheets will be working now. Then I'll play you those mystery voices one more time. So very quickly, we had from the 60s, Jeff Beck with Hi Ho Silver Lining. From the 70s, we were on to Rod Stewart singing Maggie May. From the 80s, Marvin Gaye was singing Sexual Healing. On to the 90s, it was the Counting Crows singing Mr. Jones. Into the 2000s with Duffy, who was begging us for Mercy. That one is just called Mercy. And finally, I've never heard of any of this, but I'm sure this will mean something to someone. This was CeeLo Green, and the song is called Forget You. But apparently there is a ruder version, so if anyone has apparently just been rude to you as the marker, that's probably also an acceptable title for that song. So give them a point, then find out where they are and smack them. Jeff Beck, Hi Ho Silver Lining. Rod Stewart, Maggie May. Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. Counting Crows, Mr. Jones. Duffy, Mercy. And CeeLo Green with Forget You. 12 points available in total. And I'm going to give you those mystery voices one more time.
Number 1.
You know what families are going through now. I once had to go through that same system, and it's very difficult to find a way out. Now that I'm in this position that I'm in, it's very important for me to help the people that are struggling, and that was the main reason why the letter was written.
Number 2.
Pasta puttanesca, that Italian stalwart, is generally translated, on English menus anyway, as pasta cooked in the whorish fashion. Now, I'm sorry to be immodest, but I prefer my translation, slut spaghetti.
Number 3.
I think in terms of action, this is probably the largest practical action film ever shot. Like when you look at the films, there's no CGI, so we're going through Paris, the motorcycle, it's just full on cars, you know, we're all doing our own stunts.
Listening to the second of those mystery voices made me want very much to return to the best of Harry Hill's TV burp. If anyone hasn't watched that in a while, it is always a chuckle. Anyway, obviously that was apropos of not giving anyone a clue. That would be dreadful. In the meantime, we will push through to question 9. And question 9 is asking, what is the most common name and also the most popular brand of green floral display foam? We've all been there, down at the church doing the flower arranging using that funny green foam, but what is it called? Let's move to question... Oh, that's not ready yet. Don't look at that. Disaster. Move on to question 10. Ah, it's a picture anyway. What was I doing in the wrong place? Where are my pictures? On to picture 10 for question 10. It's where the numbers on the pictures meet the numbers on the quiz sheet. Isn't that exciting? So we are asking for 4 odd ones out. We have a list purportedly of films based on Stephen King works. We have a list of Roman gods and Greek equivalents. We have countries with no land borders. And we have things that are in the full name of NASA. But can you work out which cuckoos have snuck into each of those nests? While you're thinking about that, I can tell you after the music round, the pack has spread a little. The Wuhan clan have had a good music round. They're catching up. Sounds a bit hippie to me, and Panic at the Tesco are falling away from the peloton. And right at the top, the World Health Organization have had a 12-pointer, and they've snuck into the lead at this stage in the quiz. But it is most assuredly anyone's game. So keep on trying. Don't let yourselves down now. Okay, those odd ones out, always a bit finicky. Hopefully you've made some progress though. If not, you can come back to it while you have a moment later. We're pushing on to question 11 though, and we're asking you, what 7-letter word comes before gin to mean it's homemade in amateur conditions? Don't think it's toxic, but it might be. But what 7-letter word comes before gin to mean that it is homemade in amateur conditions? And while you are thinking about that, let's get to spot prize number 2. Alon on the chat was evincing her desire for a t-shirt. It's easy to get a t-shirt. You've just got to be one of the spot prize winners. And first one, you were so close. So let's see whether we can come through for you now. Everyone else, come on, get in her way. Anyway. We are asking for the second spot prize. Since the official charts began, that's music charts, up until the 11th of June 2020, how many unique UK #1 singles have there been in total? Don't just mean musically unique, like for instance Mr. Blobby. I think that's different songs and or perhaps different performances of the same song in a couple of cases. How many unique #1 singles have there been in total? I'm getting a message through that question 9 may have been missed out. I most certainly did question 9, didn't I? Was I on mute? We're also, for question 9, we're asking what's the common name, also most popular brand, of green floral display foam? What was the most common name of green floral display foam? Anyway, there's the spot prize back again. Unique UK #1 singles. Again, get your answers in any which way you think that I will see them. I will come back to that round about question 16 or 17 and tell you who is going to be in the cage pit with Auntie Anne for the fight to the death for the next T-shirt? Okay, I've also had a question in advance, and correctly so, about picture 14. They're labelled A to G. I was asked whether they start with the letters A to G. They do not. I didn't say it today, but most weeks I say this is not an ordering quiz. Well, apparently for picture 14, we felt so strongly about ordering that we have put letters on the pictures to help you identify which you are doing. But no, we're just looking for what are those pictures of. While you muse on that and get your spot prize answers in for that T-shirt opportunity that's coming up, I will take us on to number 12. And 12 is back to the pictures again. Jolly exciting, isn't it? So picture 11, we have got some red letters from some acronyms and initialisms. Can you tell us, what do these 6 red letters stand for? Okay, pushing along to question 13, and we're asking you which English boxer was one of the only 4 men to officially knock down Muhammad Ali. Don't think he just sort of snuck up on him on a dark night. I think it was probably in the ring. Which English boxer was one of only 4 men to officially knock down Muhammad Ali? Let's keep moving and go on to number 14. Ooh, it's the MP3 film clips. That's very exciting, isn't it? Now, strictly speaking, you don't need to know the format of the audio file, but you do need to know that I am going to play 3 clips from the movies. These movies are all from the 2010s, so probably won't have seen them on the Christmas television yet, but maybe you have. Anyway, without further ado, 3 film clips.
Number 1.
But he just stared ahead into the jungle. And then Richard Parker, my fierce companion, the terrible one who kept me alive, disappeared forever from my life.
Number 2.
So what if he's alone? We're all alone. The loneliest thing you've ever seen. Well, you just said it, right? You just said it. You called it a thing. It's a thing. It's a freak. Now, does this mean that whenever we go to a Chinese restaurant, you want to save every fish in the tank?
Number 3.
You're close to him. Maybe he'll listen to you.
You know, I talk to him. He's a tough guy to talk to. You know him.
He has no choice. He has no choice. These are the higher-ups.
Well, he's a higher up, too. I mean, no.
Not like this. You know that. Oh, come on, Frank. If they can whack a president, they can whack a president of a union.
Okay, I can tell you Auntie Anne has come in with a pretty solid guess for that spot prize question. So the opportunity for the automatic t-shirt is wide open, but everyone else, you've still got a couple of questions left to get your ideas in. Anyone who is not playing the spot prize, or who has already played it, or who is going to leave it till the last possible moment just to irritate me, why don't you listen to these film clips again?
Number 1.
But he just stared ahead into the jungle. And then Richard Parker, my fierce companion, the terrible one who kept me alive, disappeared forever from my life.
Number 2.
So what if he's alone? We're all alone. The loneliest thing you've ever seen. Well, you just said it, right? You just said it. You called it a thing. It's a thing. It's a freak. Now, does this mean that whenever we go to a Chinese restaurant, you want to save every fish in the tank?
Number 3.
You're close to him. Maybe he'll listen to you.
You know, I talk to him. He's a tough guy to talk to. You know him.
He has no choice. He has no choice. These are the higher-ups.
Well, he's a higher up, too. I mean, no.
Not like this. You know that. Oh, come on, Frank. If they can whack a president, they can whack a president of a union.
Couple of interesting ones there. Still, times are pressing. Let us move on to question 15, and we're back to the pictures. It's picture 12, and we have paraphrased some country names. Each of these is, loosely speaking, the name of a sovereign state. Can you tell us what those states are? Okay, and sticking round or roundabout geography, we are asking for question 16. Which African capital city has a name meaning 3 cities? Which African capital city has a name meaning 3 cities? And I can also reveal Auntie Anne is being pipped at the moment on the spot prize questions, so we are going to have a spot prize showdown, I think probably next week, something to look forward to. If you want to get a last minute answer in, now is the time to do it, otherwise I will be coming back when I read question 17 to tell you who the spot prize winner for the second round is. Got a little elongated for a minute there, didn't I? Anyway, question 17. I think we're going back to the pictures. Yes, we are. We're going to picture 13. And for picture 13, we are going to be asking whether you can work out the calculations represented with missing vowels. Calculations represented there by missing vowels. I have had a last minute spot prize answer come in. Tony said 1578. I can tell you, Tony, you have come in closer than Auntie Anne, but unfortunately, not quite close enough. There have been 1,372 number one singles since the singles chart was started. That means that Fiona, unless anyone comes through and tells me that I missed their answer, with 1,500, you are the second round spot prize winner. That is the housewarming present that I know you've always dreamt of. A shot at a Quizcazoatl t-shirt. Okay, only 3 questions left in round 2, so let's have one of them. Oh my goodness, there we are, just more old pictures. Lots and lots of old pictures. The question, we're asking you, what 7-letter word starting with D means the most respected or prominent, probably not in terms just of nose, probably more of talent, the most respected or prominent woman in a particular field? Yeah, see that the missing letter calculations has divided the crowd. There's a lively discussion on the forum. You know, do join in. And the vanishingly small audience who watch this broadcast after the event, I believe, do get to see the comments as they come in. So you are laying down your thoughts for posterity, everybody. Thank you so much. Anyway, what 7-letter word starting with D means the most respected or prominent woman in a particular field? Let's also put up our last picture. Picture 14 is question 19. This was being alluded to earlier. We have snippets of the most influential images of all time, as identified by presumably someone of consequence. We have 7. Oh, I see. Now I understand what the A to G's are. We have 5 pictures. So for the first picture there, we're asking for the name of the picture. For the second one, we're asking you to identify both the sportsman and the stadium in which they are standing. Then the person being photographed for that top right photo of the nudie lady with the big tummy. Then bottom left, we are looking for an event and a year. And finally, bottom right, we are looking for the name of this person. So we have influential images, 7 questions. Of course, the nudie lady probably wishing that she had her very own limited edition Quizcazoatl t-shirt. Your team still, if you get your brain caps on, has the chance to be in the running to win the quiz and get one of those. Okay then, time for the last question of round 2. And we are asking, what is an alternative name for the killer whale? This isn't the killer whale from Free Willy. Don't want a specific name for him or her. I know that the whale actor was a minor celebrity for a while there, wasn't it? But that's not the name we're after. More generic alternative name for the killer whale. That is the end of round 2, so I'm just going to give you a little 3-minute countdown. Get your answers submitted by the end of that, and then we are going straight through to the wipeout round. My 3-minute countdown has 5 minutes in. I am going to abbreviate that and we will go with 3 minutes. Okay, I have had a request for a repeat on question 18. That was a 7-letter word starting with D that meant the most respected or prominent woman in a particular field. It's not a scarecrow, it's more of a metaphorical field. What 7-letter word starting with D means the most respected or prominent woman in a particular field? Alon, for you, the most respected or prominent woman in the field of not having a t-shirt yet could be an appropriate way of thinking about this one. Okay, those should all be either submitted or getting submitted right now, or else you won't be able to do your wipeout round answers. For anyone who is doing the answers for the first time, don't panic. For the wipeout, you do not have to give your team name again. It is technically the second page of round 2 rather than a new form, because we would not have time to do any answers in the middle. So, the wipeout round is a little bit exciting. In the wipeout round, the first letter of each question, the first letter of each answer, I should say, is the last letter of the previous answer. So you get a little bit of a chain of knowledge, if you will. That is something to build on. However, we don't give you anything for free here. If you get a question wrong in the wipeout round, you lose all wipeout points. So that's not just leaving something blank, but if you put something actively incorrect, that is nil points for wipeout. As compensation for taking that risk, though, if you get all 6 right, we give you a bonus 2 points. That's 8 points available. That could be the difference between glorious victory and ignominious t-shirt-free defeat. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. Wipeout question 1. What Swedish word for a buffet-style meal has also come to mean in English an extensive array or variety? What Swedish word for a buffet-style meal has also come to mean in English an extensive array or variety? Wipe out question 2. We're asking, by revenue, what is the main export of Botswana? By revenue, what is the main export of Botswana? Wipe out question 3. Similar to mermaids, what mythological creatures lured sailors to shipwreck with their enchanting singing voices and their music? Similar to mermaids, what mythological creatures lured sailors to shipwreck with their enchanting singing voices and their music? Okay, wipe out question 4. Which Scottish city is also the name of a prize for excellence in architecture? Which Scottish city is also the name of a prize for excellence in architecture? Okay, only 2 questions left in today's quiz. Question 5 of the Wipeout, we're asking about Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan was the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations, but he was from which country? And our last question for the June the 23rd Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz. We are asking, in 2003, who became the youngest winner of the Academy Award for Best Actor? In 2003, who became the youngest winner of the Academy Award for Best Actor? Okay, let's quickly review those wipeout questions. 1. What Swedish word for a buffet has come to mean an extensive array or variety? By revenue, what is the main export of Botswana? Number 3, we were asking what creatures similar to mermaids lured sailors to shipwreck with enchanting singing voices and music? Wipeout 4, we ask which Scottish city is also the name of a prize for excellence in architecture? 5, Kofi Annan was the 7th Secretary General of the UN, but he was from which country? And 6, in 2003, who became the youngest winner of the Academy Award for Best Actor? Doesn't look like I have any repeat requests, so hopefully everything is going smoothly for you there. I am going to give y'all a 3-minute timer to get those last answers in. I'm going to give us a little bit of music. We'll have a bit of Yacht. Then we'll have a short one from Chumbawamba for your answers to filter through, and then we are going to be marking round 2. So get that submit button pressed by the end of the 3-minute counter on screen, and definitely by the end of the first song. Okay, get those answers in.
Where you been, darling, darling? Where you been, darling, darling? Where you been, darling? We've been holding this moment for you. Where you been, darling, darling? Where you been, darling, darling? Where you been, darling? We've been holding this moment for you. I told you your dreams would come true. I told you your dreams would come true. In the event of something happening to me, there is something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep straining my ears to hear a sound. Maybe someone is digging underground. Or have they given up and all gone home to bed? Thinking those that once existed must be dead. Have you seen my wife, Mr.
Okay, I'm just waiting on Sounds a Bit Hippie to me. Not for the first time, I might add. So get those answers in now, please, guys. We'll be answering in about a minute.
Mr. Jones? In the event of something happening to me, there is something I would like you all to say. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones.
Rather touching, that one, I thought. But let's lighten the mood. It is time to give you the answers to the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz Round 2. Notwithstanding the fact whoever is supposed to be marking sounds a bit hippie to me, I'm afraid that those won't be coming through just yet by the look of things. But anyway, we've given them enough time to get in. Let me just check whether there's anything going on in the in-and strike. Give me 30 seconds and I'll just see if there's any problem at my end. Okay, those did come in eventually. Wuhan Clan, if you're ever wondering why Sounds a Bit Hippie are so competitive, it's because they took a full 7 minutes longer than you to presumably try to look everything up on the internet. Anyway, thanks for finally joining in, Sounds a Bit Hippie. Question 1 of round 2. We had an anagram. It was pseudometric. I'm afraid it is not meteoric spud. It is computerized for 1 point. Question 2, by weight, more expensive than gold. What is the most expensive spice in the world? It is saffron. Question 3 of round 2, we asked you to name 4 films. We had First, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Then we had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. We have My Big Fat Greek Wedding and The Devil Wears Prada. I have had some feedback from Sounds a Bit Hippie to me who say, ooh, on the chat. So if you're not actively engaged in the chat, that is the level of discourse that you're missing out on. Anyway, question 3, 4 films: Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and The Devil Wears Prada for the 4th point. After China and India, which country has the highest population? That was the USA. A few people said Brazil for that one. I'm afraid Brazil is a little bit smaller, and under the current government, getting smaller faster than you might like. So there you go. Question 5, we asked which animal is used as the symbol on a brown road sign in the UK for a zoo. That is the elephant. Someone has asked me whether one of the films was The Life of Pi. If there is literally a crouching tiger in the Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon shop, you may have a point. I'm guessing that there wasn't. Let's have a look. Where were those pictures? Where were those pictures? Lost my thread entirely. Wish I hadn't bothered trying to check. What question am I reading? What was that question? Oh my lordy. 4 films in picture 8. And we're asking Life of Pi. What was Life of Pi? I'm increasingly unsure what we're talking about and wish it's okay, wrong question. If you're gonna create this sort of disruption, get your answers in on time. Come on. But she does make a lovely t-shirt, so thanks, Jane. Anyway, after a long-winded and pointless diversion, what animal is used as a symbol on a brown road sign for a zoo? It's an elephant. The only place that literally has an elephant in the room. Question 6, the English titles of 4 books in picture 9. We had The Fault in Our Stars, War and Peace, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and On the Road. The Fault in Our Stars, War and Peace, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and On the Road for 4 points. That's all right, Janie. You don't have to be sorry. You're allowed to ask for a clarification even if the question is wrong. Question 7. We asked which 2 British rivers sound like the consecutive letters of the alphabet. It is, of course, the D, which runs into the C. No, hang on, what? No, sorry, no, that was wrong. It's the X and the Y. The X and the Y is the answer to question 7. 1 point is available. Question 8. Huckleberry Finn, I think, is fine for The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. In my book, it is the United Express of today. Give them a point for Huckleberry Finn. 3 people in the clips. We had Champion of the People, Marcus Rashford. Sultry Kitchen Something, Nigella Lawson. And the man in the built-up shoes, it was Tom Cruise. 3 points available for Marcus Rashford, Nigella Lawson, and Tom Cruise for question 8. Question 9, we asked what is the common name, or the most common name, of green floral display foam? That is Oasis. It is, of course, invented by Noel Gallagher on one of his off days. Oasis for a point for question 9. Question 10, we asked for 4 odd ones out. The Sixth Sense, the film with a twist, was actually an M. Night Shyamalan film. Then on the God pairs, Somnus and Morpheus was incorrect. That should have been Somnus and Hypnos. So The Sixth Sense, Somnus / Morpheus. Then the Dominican Republic, that is only half of Hispaniola. And finally, we had agency. NASA is an administration. The Americans do enjoy an administration. So 4 points available for The Sixth Sense, Somnus / Morpheus, Dominican Republic, and agency. We have a lot of exciting chatter. There's some resentment about one of the teams only having got half a point for The Curious of Benjamin Button last time, despite the fact that Huckleberry Finn is being given today. Life is pain. If I was the only team that failed to spell their team name correctly for this round, I would be cautious of asking for strong enforcement, but so it goes. Question 11. We asked what 7-letter word comes before gin to mean that it is homemade in amateur conditions. And that is, it is not, I don't think many people got this one. Let's have a look. Oh, no, a few people got this. It's not bootleg, it's bathtub. That was a little tricky, wasn't it? Bathtub gin is homemade. Moving on to question 12, picture 11, we had 6 red-letter words, and they were guidance, as in parental guidance. They were the alternative investment market, so alternative for the second one, for the AIM. We then had C for cable in Cable News Network. We had zone. A zip code apparently stands for Zone Improvement Plan, General Certificate of. Now you know. Oh, I do beg your pardon. I have gone through to the next answer. I thought that sounded like an odd thing. ZIP is a Zone Improvement Plan, and then S stands for Secondary in General Certificate of Secondary Education. Finally, our good friends at PETA are people for the ethical treatment of animals. So all in all, 6 points for guidance, alternative, cable, zone, secondary, and ethical. I'll note for anyone reading the chat, the team currently moaning about not getting enough points moaned at me at some length that they were badly marked. I went through every single question with them and it turned out they just didn't do very well. So with the possible exception of getting diddled on Benjamin Button, there you go. Question 13, the English boxer who knocked down Muhammad Ali was Henry Cooper. A point available for Henry Cooper. Question 14, we had 3 film clips. The first was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on a Boat. Now, hang on a second, that's wrong. It was The Life of Pi. Question 2, we had The Shape of Water. And finally, question 3, we had The Irishman / I Heard You Paint Houses. That sounds like a difficult one that we're going to have some questions on. I really don't know how The Irishman / I Heard You Paint Houses stacks up in that film name. So try to be generous. If that needs clarification, do let me know in the comments. Anyway, 3 points for Life of Pi, Shape of Water, and The Irishman / I Heard You Paint Houses. Question 15, we had 6 cryptic clues for sovereign states, and they were Morocco, Chile, the Maldives, Tunisia, Brunei, and Haiti. 6 points for Morocco, Chile, Maldives, Tunisia, Brunei, and Haiti. I see that the comment thread has become genuinely nasty at this point. This could be the last ever Quizcazoatl's Publess Pub Quiz if this vicious back and forth continues, but I am loving it. Question 16. Which African capital city has a name that means 3 cities? That is Tripoli, capital of Libya. 1 point for Tripoli. Question 17, we had what Ryan described as the Sudoku of the quiz, and not in a good way. Calculations in picture 13. First off, 19 minus 15 is 4. If anyone has done a calculation which is mathematically wrong, I'm afraid no point. And ideally, they'll have them more or less exactly right. So the first one, 19 minus 15 is 4. Then 2 cubed is 8. Then 91 add 1 equals 92. And finally, 1.5 times 6 is 9. Question 18. What 7-letter word started with D means the most respected or prominent woman in a particular field? It's the doyenne. We don't hold you accountable for spelling, but in case you were wondering, that is D-O-Y-E-N-N-E. Coming towards the close of round 2. Question 19. We had, the first picture is Earthrise. That needs to be more or less exactly Earthrise. That is a famous image. Then for B, we had Babe Ruth. You could have called him George Herman Ruth Jr. That is his full name, but Babe Ruth at the Yankee Stadium. That was C. D was Demi Moore. E was the Oscars, or equally the Academy Awards, and the year for F was 2014. And finally, for part G, we had Jacqueline, and we'll accept any or all of Bouvier, Kennedy, and Onassis. So, for 7 points in total, we had Earthrise, Babe Ruth, or George Herman Ruth Jr., Yankee Stadium, Demi Moore, the Oscars or Academy Awards, 2014, and finally Jacqueline Bouvier, Kennedy, or Onassis. Now let's have a look. I've had a question whether we could accept Moldova for number 3 on the cryptic clues. So the clue was fungus under roof edge overhang. I'm sure that there'll be some wailing and gnashing of teeth. I would allow half a point for Moldova on that one. It's not quite right, but it's in the right space. And, you know, after some of the nasty, petty feelings that have been expressed in that chat group, I feel we need to raise the tone by being a little bit generous. And finally, question 20. 16 is indeed Tripoli, and 17 was... 17 was the maths, so we've been asked for a repeat. Someone lost a connection, so question 17 we had 19 minus 15 is 4, 2 cubed is 8, 91 add 1 equals 92, and finally 1.5 times 6 is 9. 4 points for those equations, and thanks Kat for writing them. Alon, if you lose faith now, you might never get that t-shirt that you want. Anyway, question 20. What is an alternative name for the killer whale? It is an orca. We will also accept Orcinus orca, which would be the fuller Latin name for the killer whale. I'm afraid I'm enjoying the comments on my own radio show too much. So that is round 2. It's been the most long-winded attempt to read out the answers, I think, in Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz history, for which I apologise. Let's do the wipeout a little bit faster. Swedish word for a buffet-style meal means, in English, an extensive array or variety. It's a smorgasbord. By revenue, what is the main export of Botswana? As Lily Allen said, I heard people die when they're trying to find them. It's diamonds. Question 3. Similar to mermaids, what mythical creatures lured sailors to shipwreck with their enchanting singing voices and music? It is sirens. Question 4. We asked which Scottish city is also the name of a prize for excellence in architecture? It is Stirling. Stirling Prize for Excellence in Architecture. Question 5. Kofi Annan, the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations, was from Ghana. A point available for Ghana. And finally, in 2003, who became the youngest winner of the Academy Award for Best Actor? and that was Adrian Brody. He won the Academy Award for The Pianist. The Pianist. So again, those wipeout answers: Smorgasbord, Diamonds, Sirens, Sterling, Ghana, and Adrian Brody. Now, there's a toggle underneath the wipeout round on your answer sheet. It ought to be set to no, as in no, the team has not wiped out. So if they haven't wiped out, do check it's a no. Otherwise, if someone put in an actively incorrect answer, not just a blank, but an actively incorrect answer, please change that to yes. The system will automatically award 2 bonus points to anyone who got all 6 of those wipeout questions right. So, which leaves me nothing more than to say thank you all very much for joining in on the quiz again, and for committing so committedly to the question of whether United Express is a real airline, which remains deeply controversial among the entire community. I am just giving it a moment for the scores to update through my terribly clever but not completely instant score collection system. I will take that opportunity to just remind you that we do now have our very own Just Giving page for the Quizcazoatl pub quiz. This will enable me to identify either just how generous you are, or that I really should have set this up before most of you gave very generous donations to the Lewisham Food Bank, because I know several of the teams have already been very generous, and both I and I'm sure the Lewisham Food Bank are very, very grateful for that. But we do have a page, justgiving.com/Quizcazoatl. We are looking to raise $100 million by the end of lockdown. Now, it looks like we have our answers in. It looks like nobody wiped out this week, so well done everyone for not flying too close to the wind. So, hopefully these are the genuinely final scores. There always has to be someone at the bottom of the table, and in general it means that those people have been doing something more useful than learning a bunch of pitiful trivia. So well done the Wuhan clan on being the least pitifully trivial of our contestants this week with a very solid 69. We then jump up a little. The Footlins and Meet the Parents are even on 94 points at joint 7th. They fell a little away from the peloton with a difficult round 2, I think I can fairly say, to both of those teams. We then have a real clump. We've got the Midway Kings on 103.5. I think I can safely say that that is a record for the Midway Kings, so well done team. Just half a point behind Sounds a Bit Hippie to Me and previous winners. I think Sounds a Bit Hippie to Me are previous winners. Most of you are previous winners by this time. On 104, Panic at the Tesco and Sounds a Bit Hippie to Me in joint 4th. That means that we have a very close spacing for the top 3. We have the World Health Organization and the Lockdown Haircuts. We also have an unknown mystery team whose name came in as Give Elon a T-shirt, aka Lincoln is not in the East Midlands. And sadly, we didn't get any answers in from Lincoln is not in the East Midlands for round 2 either. So I imagine that those are unrelated circumstances. But if we give those 2 totally unrelated teams each other's scores, Lincoln is not in the East Midlands. You came close, but you are in 3rd place, which means that by a margin of only 2, this week's winners of the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz, ahead of the Lockdown Haircuts, it's old winners, the World Health Organization. WHO, next week I will be giving you a may or may not be t-shirt related t-shirt trivia question. And Auntie Anne and Sister Fiona, we are going to be getting you, hopefully, on the video to answer a tiebreaker for your very own T-shirt showdown. That is it from me for the day. we've run a little bit longer for no particular reason, except that I dawdled a bit and the chat got a bit interesting. So apologies for going beyond 10:30. We will be back same time, same place next week. Stay safe, stay alert. Remember, the world is probably slightly more dangerous than Boris Johnson tells you it is.